Chad Poland here, pastor and teacher at All Souls Congregational Church. I'm in my home office this morning. It's early morning, Wednesday, March 25th. And I have a few words I thought I might share with you as we start this new day and continue navigating our way through this current crisis. Let me begin with an honest confession. Tell you that I spent an unreasonable amount of time yesterday trying to create a little video that I deemed acceptable to upload and put online and share with you. I can be a bit of a perfectionist. I have that tendency, at least. And I've got to tell you that this medium does not bode well for those of us who do. Always looming within an arm's reach is that ever-present possibility of just hitting stop and starting the process all over again. So after, I don't know, a bajillion takes, I was feeling pretty frustrated. And I found myself asking the question in all seriousness, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I quickly realized that that question had to do with far more than this little video, but in fact was the very question I'd been wrestling with for a number of days now as I considered the whole of my ministry. How am I going to be a pastor? How am I going to grow a church and strengthen a community when I can't even call that church together to be in community? How am I going to provide ministry of presence to individuals in need when I can't even be present? Not in the way that I would like, not in the way that I've always been. Just as quickly I realized that this question, how am I going to do this? This question, this struggle is by no means uniquely my own, but I would imagine that there are countless people right now asking that very question and engaged in this very same struggle. I imagine that many of you watching this video are wrestling with that question yourself. The details may be different, but the soul of the question is the same. How am I going to do this? Now, perhaps for some of you, those details are similar to mine. Perhaps you, like me, are wrestling with how am I going to do my work in a whole new way with a whole new set of tools. But for others, the question has become, how am I going to homeschool my children? I've never done this before. How am I going to deal with the isolation that I'm experiencing? How am I going to deal with the anxiety and worry and fear that keeps cropping up into my heart and mind? How am I going to ensure that I remain healthy and that my loved ones remain healthy too? How am I going to do all of this? For others, the question has become, how am I going to keep my business afloat? And how am I going to see to the needs of my staff and employees? How am I going to do this? As I wrestled with that question, some words popped into my mind, and it occurred to me that perhaps those are the words that I am meant to share with you today. And so I took those bajillion other takes and threw them away and started this one this morning. And now we get to that moment where I get to share those words with you. They come from the Gospel of John in the 15th chapter, verse 5. I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing. Apart from me, you can do nothing. How are we going to do this? I don't know the full answer to that question. I don't know the full answer to that question in regards to my own life. I certainly don't know the full answer to that question in regards to yours. But part of the answer is that we're not going to do it alone. We weren't meant to, and to put it simply, we can't. We weren't meant to, and we can't. So that is my reminder for you today. As you wrestle with this question, as you experience those moments of frustration and raising your hands to the air, how am I going to do this? Take a moment and stop and remind yourself that part of the answer is that you're not going to do it alone. Ensure that you are abiding in Christ, and take a moment to invite God to abide in you. Again, I'm Chad Poland, pastor and teacher at All Souls Congregational Church. Thank you for watching this video. If you found my words to be a help to you, I certainly would welcome you liking and sharing this video that others might watch it as well. I'll be sure to offer a few more thoughts now and again as we continue through these very interesting times. But until next time, I hope you are well, and to all of you, God bless.